Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, Elizabeth Dutton.
Zaron.
You know what's ridiculous?
I do.
Do you want to share?
No.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
All right.
You are going to share.
You convinced me.
Yes, thank you.
What do aphids, anacondas, and zebra sharks have in common?
They all have A's in their names.
Done. That's ridiculous.
Boom.
Did you know that
Next question, harder.
Some of them are born pregnant.
Wait, what?
Yeah, some aphids.
Zebrafish and aphids are born pregnant?
Yeah, some aphids are born pregnant. But individual adults, right, they can give birth to up to 9 offspring a day.
Wait, so I'm just a little confused here.
But they reproduce asexually.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like dad got mom and baby pregnant?
Parthenogenesis. Well, it did remind me of my favorite Yahoo Answers.
Oh, no.
Of all time.
Yes.
The question was, can your baby get pregnant if you have sex while pregnant? And then that was the title. And then the question underneath says, like, if you are pregnant with a baby girl and you have sex while you are pregnant, can the sperm go up in there and impregnate the baby?
Go up in there?
Go up in there. And then someone calling themselves Hennessy
what did Dr. Hennessy have to say?
Gave the best answer chosen by voters.
Oh, right.
And said, the baby can get pregnant only if it's female. If you suspect that your baby is pregnant, try not to have sex again. You run the risk of getting your baby's baby pregnant, and that can lead to complications like an infinite loop. So that's kind of what goes on with aphids, I guess.
Like a Russian nesting doll of pregnancy.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was all ridiculous.
Oh, that is uncut ridiculousness.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Hennessy, thank you for clarifying.
Thank you, Dr. Hennessy.
Giving us all the answers. That's a damn good one. If you have a moment, I got a wild one for you.
Yes, please.
You got a second?
I can make time.
Nice.
For you, I can do that.
I'm just going to ask you, imagine that you're 20 years old, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Easy.
Now, you live in Florida.
Okay.
Okay. And you decide it would be a good idea for you to fake your own kidnapping and extort $2 million in ransom from a Colombian cartel-connected gangster. Right?
That's a great idea.
And this man is also your father.
Oh, wow.
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, and cons. It's always 99% murder free, and Elizabeth, 100% ridiculous.
Nice.
Okay, I promised you story, Florida.
You
right?
did. You made that promise.
1983. This is 1 year before the year that Orwell made famous.
Right.
Yeah, right? 1984? Yeah,
right.
Okay, I'm right here. So to put you back in time, I want you to just go over some major cultural touchstones of 1983. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, the Wayback Machine starting now. Okay, Ray-Ban sunglasses.
Ow.
Michael Jackson's Thriller dominates the charts.
Ow, ow.
The McDonald's Chicken McNugget debuts.
Wow.
Jane Fonda's Jazzercise is selling buku VHS and Betamax tapes on...
That's right.
Yeah, cassette tapes. And their Return of the Jedi, it's dominating at the box office.
Nice.
Right? 1980. Can you feel the 83 just surging through you?
I am straight up there.
And when someone says 1983, does anything jump to mind? Anything leap to mind? Anything that you just have like, oh, when I think 1983, boom.
I don't know. It all sort of blurs together for me.
It's a hard one to
80s.
separate out, to be quite honest, because it's not an election year, not an Olympic year.
I hadn't hit Olympic fever.
Yeah, exactly. No Mary Lou Retton racing around the culture.
No. Well, I feel like I was listening to a lot of Duran Duran.
Oh, okay. That could totally
Most
see
likely.
that. Yeah, I think the Smiths had their first album in 1983.
Right.
Yeah, so there's some cultural touchstones that were coming up for you personally. Now,
I mean, I was 46 that year.
Exactly. You were just a young 46,
I know.
still eyeing the culture going, what's going to come next?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Elizabeth, this also was the birth year of some of your favorite people.
Oh, really?
I looked it up. I checked to see the list, and I pulled out a couple of my favorites. You know, we're going to skip past the Aziz Ansaris of the world, who was born in 1983, but we're also going to stick to the summer babies, because that's when this story takes place.
Okay.
All right, so June 19th, Macklemore was brought into the world as baby Macklemore. I know, not one of your favorite people.
I don't know.
The rapper Macklemore.
Oh, yeah.
You do.
He had like a scooter on a video.
Exactly.
I'm doing.
You're doing
you can't
the
see,
hands
I'm doing the
bouncing.
hands.
This is good.
Yeah.
Now, a month later, after baby Macklemore entered the world, funny hammer guy Chris Hemsworth was born.
Funny hammer guy.
Yeah, and one of your favorites. I know.
He's funny.
He's got a hammer. So there was. Let's see. Also, at the end of the summer, Donald Glover was born.
Okay.
Who you actually do like, much like Funny Hammer Guy, unlike, say, Macklemore. Now, September 25th was Donald Glover's birthday.
Good for him.
Just putting that out there in case you wanted to send a birthday card. Coming up fast.
Happy birthday.
Now, 2 weeks before Donald Glover enters the world, that's where our story takes place.
Okay.
You into this?
Yes.
Okay, 1983, Florida. Late summer.
Ooh.
Yeah, hot, humid, sticky. It's everything you don't want to be. Now, it's the kind of place where it feels like it may start raining anytime soon, or it's just gotten done raining.
Yeah.
There was an old joke I used to hear when I was a kid about Florida, which is like, if you don't like the weather in Florida, just stick around an hour. It'll change. Now, this is what you're experiencing as you are in South Florida, the Miami-Dade area. And the star of our tale that I would like to tell you about today is a man named David Hampton Butler Sr.
David Hampton Butler Sr.
Yeah, there will be a test later, so please write that down.
I am writing it right now.
Now, 4 years before our story begins, David Hampton Butler Sr., he is a, drug smuggler, and he's hanging out, gets busted in Alabama, and that becomes like who he is. But when we meet him in 1983, he's the vice president of a small charter airline called Transair. And this is, to step up for an ex-con. You don't expect him to be the VP of a private airline, right?
Right.
He's living well, not like, high on the hog, but the guy has a $300,000 home in 1983, which is, that's sizable and expensive, and he's doing well in life.
Yeah.
He's also got a garage full of several luxury cars, and he likes to keep a low profile.
Does he have an embroidered pillow in his home that says living well is the best revenge?
Nobody needs one.
He does.
With like the gold tassels and stuff. So this guy, David Hampton Butler Sr., who appears to have gone legit, he is doing what psychiatrists like to call a lie. He is living a lie. He has not gone legit.
That's the clinical term.
The clinical, yes. Keep up with me.
It goes over my head.
Yeah, I'll try not to use too much of the nomenclature.
I'm a little slow.
But yeah, this one, he's also what criminologists would refer to as an active drug smuggler.
As a bad guy.
Yeah, so he also has one other secret. He is a high-level informant for the FBI.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Okay.
He's hitting all the switches. He's just pouncing around. Now, his family doesn't know this. In particular, his 20-year-old son doesn't know this.
Dave Jr.
Dave Hampton Butler Jr.
Okay.
20-year-old son. Now, this one little secret will go on to shape both of their futures. Because I believe if his son did know that his father was a high-level FBI informant, he probably wouldn't think it was a good idea to fake his own kidnapping.
Otherwise, it's a great idea.
It's a solid plan. But I'm saying is if your dad has buddies in the FBI, they've got the tools to catch you real quick.
Yeah.
Now, at the time of this kidnapping, his best friend is this judge's son who's this ne'er-do-well. He also has a girlfriend. She's an 18-year-old who attends at a community college. She's also an exercise teacher. Her name is Carmen Carreno.
Ooh.
And so he's got the ne'er-do-well judge's best friend, the jazzercise teacher as his girlfriend. And together, these three amateur kidnappers come up with a plan to con and extort his father, the cocaine cartel gangster. These three amateurs.
That is such a bad idea.
It's a simple plan. They keep it down to brass tacks. They're just like, look, we're not going to have a lot of adornments and embellishments. We're just going to do straight ransom notes, right? So David Butler Jr., this is their plan. He'll go missing on a Friday, have a nice long weekend,
right?
Hang out with his girlfriend, just normally do what they would do. They're going to go enjoy a Florida weekend together while his friend, Joe Hickey, he helps work out the threatening parts for his father, right?
Okay.
Because it's important that his father be terrified that he's gone. It can't just be that they go off on a lark. So they have this whole plan. On Friday, he'll go missing and then hide out for the weekend, lay low with a girlfriend. On Monday, they'll arrange for his return once they've properly scared his father throughout the weekend.
Okay.
Now, his girlfriend, Carmen, she comes up with a plan. She'll type up ransom notes at the community college. They have typewriters there. That way they won't be traced back to her, won't be handwritten.
Right.
Kind of smart, right?
Yeah.
Now, Joe Hickey, he helps word these so they're maximally threatening. He actually has a little history with threatening people. He faced a charge where he tried to get a woman to pay $500 to get a dog back or something. And so, yeah, he's like a whole, like I said, ne'er-do-well, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, I got this one. Here's what you got to do. Put in terrifying language so he believes that it's the cocaine smugglers who grabbed you. So he's working on making this terrifying ransom notes, right? So the first typewritten ransom note arrives at the Butler home on Friday. Right? Son's gone missing. The ransom note reads, "We have finally taken revenge against you, Mr. Butler. We are now holding your son, David Jr." Right? Simple, straightforward, right to the point. Right? And the note also includes a demand. They will insist on $2 million in small bills if you ever want to see your son ever again.
Small bills.
Right? Yeah.
That's the best part.
It's all this one's stripper money. They're like, just go down.
Crinkly ones.
Yeah. I want 5s and 1s, and they got to be crinkly. If it ain't crinkly and I can't smell sweat, I don't want it. Now, David Butler Sr., his son's grabbed. He knows he deals with bad men all the time for a
Right.
living. He immediately begins to panic. His worst fears have been realized. His criminal business dealings have now not only put his life at risk, but put his family's life at risk,
Yeah.
right? So on Friday, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know does he want to tell his wife? He can't call the cops. He doesn't know what to do, right? So he's like panicking, racking his mind, spends the whole night in fear. Saturday, new ransom note arrives. He's like, oh, okay. So he checks the ransom note, and this one is more threatening. Thank you, Joe Hickey. So this one
God.
says, "By now, you must know our threat is real. David is safe, yet time is running out. We will not stand for any setups or police involvement. If we are informed otherwise, your son will be killed without hesitation."
Oh.
Right? So it's ramping up.
Yeah.
Good job, Joe Hickey. Now, the father, David Butler Sr., he believes the ransom notes are or could be legit. He's not exactly certain because they don't quite fit the pattern he would expect, but it's his son. So he's
I would
panicked.
think at this point they'd be like sending a pinky or something.
That exactly. You know, if he's dealing with real Colombian cartel, it's like, we got to ramp this up.
But
And it's not
these
just going to be
guys,
like, hey,
it's
don't
hard
tell
to find a
cops.
spare pinky to send.
Exactly.
So, like, if I were them,
Mm-hmm.
if they went upstairs to the faculty lounge at this community college and they got me to come down and help them type it up, just
Okay,
proofread
yes.
it,
Mhm.
I'd be like, here's what we do, you guys. Go get a piece of bologna and we'll say we cut off some of his rump meat and this is it as a proof.
a slice of rump meat.
Yeah.
It'd be really good on rye.
Yeah, exactly.
I like this. You could have been good. See, I don't think you
How
could
do
be
you
so
know
criminal.
I'm not? And we just
Oh.
haven't found out about it yet.
The look on my face right now, pure shock.
I know.
Well, Elizabeth, master criminal that you are,
Yes.
what would you do next? You've got the father terrified.
Okay.
Uh-huh. So
and
how
we're
do you-
not sending rump meat, so...
Oh, no, I'll flip it. What do you do as the father?
Oh, as the father.
How about that?
I call some people I know and be like,
Boom.
I
You're
could
good
work
at
for
this.
the
I'm
cartel.
telling you. These amateur criminals, they should have consulted with someone like you.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly what his father did.
There it is.
He goes right to his handlers at the FBI and he's like, guys, I got a problem. My son's been grabbed. And the FBI is like, you're in luck. That's what we do.
You're in luck, we don't care.
So they're like, we promise you we will find your son or we will try really hard. So the FBI
30 minutes or it's free.
they spring into action, right? They promise to find the kidnappers. Sunday, nothing has occurred yet. A new ransom note arrives.
Oh my gosh.
At the Butler home, right? This note now has instructions for what he's supposed to do to get his son back. The note tells him to follow instructions to a sidewalk cafe in Coconut Grove, Florida. So he does. He gets in his car, takes in one of his luxury cars, drives down to Coconut Grove. He finds this sidewalk cafe. He walks in. He follows the ransom note's instructions, and it says to check behind a poster on the wall. So he goes up. He finds his poster on the wall, and there behind the poster is what? A second
His
note.
son,
His son hanging up behind the
they
poster.
flatten him out.
Yeah, it's just like flat stand. So this second note, it warns, quote, "Every precaution has been taken to prevent any of your tricks." Boom.
Okay.
So these people apparently know him, right? These people is his son. His son knows his father well. He knows his father's up to all of his tricks, or at least he thinks he knows his father well. That's the key.
Yeah.
Now, as this weekend drags on, David Hampton Butler Sr. begins to suspect it may not be a rival Colombian cartel that kidnapped his son. It doesn't feel like their style.
No.
They wouldn't send all these cheeky messages, is your point. They would send a finger. They would do something.
Then, can you imagine they had to go to this cafe and like slip the paper? Did they know like one of the waiters like, shh, don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
it's for a
cool,
scavenger hunt.
Yeah.
And then like slip it behind
I'm from
there.
Florida State. It's fun. It's a frat thing.
So yeah, that's not cartel behavior.
No, the whole like sidewalk cafe. I mean, right there, I'm like going,
there.
you are not
Bingo.
a member of a cocaine cartel.
They're like, okay, go to this frozen yogurt shop.
It's the best froyo in
Dig to
Coconut
the
Grove.
bottom of the M&M sprinkles.
Make sure to ask for the funfetti.
You'll find your son's pinky.
Well, it turns out that his instincts are mostly right, as we will soon find out. After this short break, we'll be right back with more of the strange tale of David Hampton Butler Jr. versus David Hampton Butler Sr.
Nice.
So, Elizabeth, where were we?
We were talking some Dave versus Dave action.
Yes, right. We got the battle in Dave's.
Dave Sr., Dave Jr., producer Dave jumped
Producer
in.
Dave? Yeah, do you have any comments on this? How's this Dave on Dave action for you?
I mean, the thing is, you can't really bet for or against either Dave. I mean,
That's right. Comes out even.
you just
I'm
gotta.
just rooting for Dave.
I always root for Dave.
Dave always wins.
Dave's right. Now, David Hampton Butler Jr. missing. David Hampton Butler Sr. panicked, but has the FBI on his side, so he's feeling a little bit of a good position, and he's kind of certain this is a little hinky and that maybe his son is not really in danger.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Okay.
So, being an FBI informant, he's feeling, these tricks don't quite play, and he's, curious. But at the same time, it's his son. He's got to still care about what's going to happen to his son. So if he's wrong, even if 10% chance that it could be actual cartel, he's got to play that 10% chance, right?
Yeah.
But his FBI contacts, they also have their doubts. So it's getting lower, more like a 5% chance, right? By Monday, the FBI agents come to the conclusion that there are no true kidnappers involved in this. They've looked over all the materials, they've read it, they're like, these are amateurs. I don't know what's going on here. Do you have any personal contacts? Do you owe anybody money? Who would be trying to do this to you? Dave Hampton Butler Sr. racks his mind. He cannot think of anybody he owes money to, anybody personal who would be doing this to him. It's got to be one of his criminal contacts. Mm-hmm. If somebody was doing this to you, would you have a long list of people you would guess?
You, Dave, Elliot the intern. I would not have a long
Right?
list.
It's difficult to come up with a list of enemies for the average person.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
if you're an FBI informant, you have a little bit longer list, right?
Yeah, and if you're a drug dealer, maybe a little bit longer.
Double your length.
Right.
So he's got a list he's kind of creating and he's crossing out names. He can't figure it out. Luckily for him, Monday night, he gets a call from the kidnappers.
Oh.
First time they've actually spoken with him. So now he's like, oh, I guess they are legit. They tell the worried father, if you pay the ransom, your boy will be returned the following day. So he's like, all right, well, I got to play the 5% chance that these people are legit.
Yeah.
He's instructed to bring 20 bags of cash. Once again, all small bills, totaling $2 million, and drive out to a remote location for this exchange. David Hampton Butler Sr., he listens to all the instructions. He's like, okay, bet. And he does as he's instructed.
Wait, so he's got that kind of cash?
He's a drug smuggler. So,
yeah,
he's got the $2 million sitting around.
He went out to the deep freezer in the garage.
Exactly. The only hard part was making sure it was small bills. He's like, I got to go down and find
He broke a lot. He had to go around breaking them at 7-Elevens all
and
over
strip
the place.
clubs. He was going down to strip clubs like when the girls were walking out. How was your shift? Did you make a couple thou? So after he's done gathering up all his cash, putting it in like Ziploc bags of 20 Ziploc bags, all with little cash, he does as he's instructed and he drives out to this remote location. Now, he has to go down a 2-lane highway from basically Tampa to Miami that runs through the Everglades. Mm-hmm. And this is like, there's nothing on this highway. It's just the Everglades, it's just swamp, right? So he's like, I don't know where I'm going to possibly meet a person out here. Elizabeth, you ever been to the Florida Everglades?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about at all? You've seen pictures?
Kind of, yeah.
So imagine a road, a 2-lane, like a southern highway, a little grass strip on either side. And then as soon as the grass strip ends, it's just swamp.
Just swamp,
Immediately cypress trees, like an alligator could crawl out onto the road. Right. That's where he's driving by himself with all these $2 million in cash. So Elizabeth, I'd like you to close your eyes and picture it.
My eyes are closed.
Okay. It's a sweltering Monday night in Florida. It's the kind of humid night that makes your clothes stick to your skin. You can hear the air vibrating with the heat and the bugs. You're alone, standing on the side of a 2-lane rural highway, hitchhiking. It's very 1983.
That's what I do.
Yeah, we got the short shorts on.
Of course.
So far, it's been a long, hot night. A few cars have passed. None have stopped for you. And the mosquitoes, they won't leave you alone. Finally, out past the curtain of cypress trees and the thick swamp bushes, you spy headlights approaching in the dark distance. Maybe this will be the car that stops. You hope. You say a small prayer. You need to get out of this night. The mosquitoes are pretty much feeding on you, and the sweat is driving you mad. So the car, it slows down. Maybe a small hope is being answered. It's a Mercedes. It pulls to a stop in the loose gravel right next to you. It starts to idle. The passenger window slides down. This middle-aged white man, he's at the wheel. He turns and he looks at you. His face is really worried. It's kind of actually scary. He says, "Do you know where the Trail Indian Baptist Church is?" And you're like, Now, before the truth can escape your lips, which is no, you do not, a lie leaps from your lips. And you say, yes, I do. If you give me a ride, I'll show you where it is. I'm going that way. Now, you're from California. You don't know Florida at all.
No.
You're 100% what psychiatrists call lying.
I am covered in mosquitoes.
Yes.
I'm getting like anaphylactic at this point. Yeah. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I know where everything is. Let me in the car.
I'll personally build the church. Let's go.
I built the globe. Let me in here.
Well, it's like the Irish say, a bum steer is better than no steer at all.
There you go.
So you give him the bum steer and send him on the road, but you also hop in the car with him. So he's like, yeah, get in. You're like, all right, cool. And you immediately notice when you get in that there are at least 15 bags of cash in the back seat. I'm like, well, this dude's driving around with bags of cash. Did he just rob a strip club? Now, this car idea maybe wasn't such a good idea for you, but you're in it, and he floors it. So now you're on this rural highway, tearing down in a Mercedes, and this guy with the loose cash in the back, and he's got wild eyes, and you're like, I need to make better choices with my life.
Yeah, totally. But hear me out.
Okay.
I'd rather see bags of cash in the back than see like an abduction kit of like duct tape and a hammer and garbage bags. And he's just, that's so I look around, I see the cash. I'm like, this I could probably handle.
Maybe he's a legitimate businessman.
Yeah. Maybe he won't notice if I just put one into my back pocket.
I like your thoughts. Yeah. So this middle-aged man, frantic eyes, behind the wheel, he turns to you after a few miles. He says, "Is the church this way or back the other way?" And you're like, Now, you got a 50-50 chance. What do you tell him?
Well, I'm trying to go straight, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, it is down the road a piece. We will just keep going.
That's exactly what you say. You lie your sweet face off.
Got it.
He buys it. And now you're starting to wonder, if you get to the church, can you make a run for it? Because this guy is really making you nervous.
Hell
right?
Yeah, I can.
And then, what luck, you spy a sign. There it is, you claim. It's the Trail Indian Independent Baptist Church.
I was right.
Yes, totally right. 50-50 chance you won. He barely touches the brakes. The car slides into the gravel of the church parking lot. Luckily, it's just before midnight. There's nobody in there.
Yeah.
He then hops out of the car just as it stops, runs over to a payphone by the church, and you then see that he doesn't use the payphone. He just stands there waiting. And you're like, this is really odd. Does he not know the number to call? Is he nervous to call the person? Is he calling his wife? What's going on here, right? Then all of a sudden the phone rings. You're like, oh, he was waiting for the call.
Right.
The money in the back seat's all starting to put together. You're like, huh. Now, you're sitting there alone in the Mercedes with the cash, and you're like, did he leave the keys? He did not leave the keys. So you're having to sit there, and you're in this parking lot, Everglades swamps all around you. As I told you, it looks like an alligator could climb out of the swamp at any time. You don't really want to get out of the car. So you're like, what the do I do?
You know what I do?
What do you do?
I grab a bag of cash.
Every plan starts
and
with
then
this.
I really quietly get out of the car and I tiptoe around the back and I break in the back of the church.
Ooh,
Sanctuary.
I like this. Yes, the church in the wild.
Yeah. And then I hide from him.
This church, it turns out, belongs to the Miccosukee and Seminole tribes who live in the area. It's super rural. This is like, there's nobody around there, but they have a little community, right? So this church, as all churches or most churches are, is open. You're like hoping that maybe, I could spend the night here, right? And you're like, huh. But right as you're kicking over all these plans in your head, you see the driver screaming into the phone. Go where? Go where? I'm not going out into the swamp in the middle of the night. You have to be kidding me. You're like, I don't know what's going on here. Silence. Total silence again. He listens. Then all of a sudden, more shouting. Yes, I have the cash. Do you have my son? You're like, oh, snap, right?
Yeah.
You're at a ransom exchange. You don't know what to do. Then you hear the driver shout into the phone, well, then you can keep him. And he hangs up. You're like,
oh,
that didn't go well.
No.
So he slams the car door shut, gets back in with you. You calmly turn everything okay? And he's like, I'm going home. You need a ride? And you're like, you look at him, you look at the church, you look at him, you look at the church. You're like, I'll stay here. So you get out of the car, you walk over to the church. Luckily, you're right. The doors are open. You spend the night in the church. The Mercedes pulls away, and you're like, that was one of the weirdest nights of my life.
I've got a great story going forward, though.
Oh, totally. You were going to have one hell of a TikTok to tell, all right? So as you're sitting there at the church, you spend the night, you sleep in a pew, you wake up in the morning, you go outside, the sun is there to greet you, and you walk out, and there's a cop car. And you're like, what the? And it's a Muckasucky Seminole tribal police officer. It's got a cruiser, and in the back is this kid, a white kid, sweaty face, mosquito bites all over. He looks like he slept in a swamp because he did. So you're like, I bet that's the kid.
Yeah.
And you are 100% right.
Nice.
Meet David Hampton Butler Jr.
Dave Jr.
So it turns out you just saw David Hampton Butler Jr. right at the moment when he gets rescued from his botched self-kidnapping.
Oh, wait, he was actually at this. Oh, boy.
Yeah. So on Friday, he had kidnapped himself. What had happened was he spent the weekend driving around town with his jazzercise instructor girlfriend. They're calling Joe Hickey. You got the new ransom note ready? We're ready to go type it. They go to community college, type it up. They're doing their bit, right? Everything's going like a bad teen movie starring, like a pre-famed Nicolas Cage. And this bad teen movie comes to its culmination on Monday when they decide, okay, it's time to get paid. Now, Joe Hickey's looking at about a $30,000 score. That's his cut of this. And he's willing to do all this stuff.
Wait, $2 million and he's going to
only doing $30,000.
Joe
told you, ne'er do well,
Hickey.
right? So he picks the church. He's like, I know this rural out of the way spot. He lines up everything. He drives David Hampton Butler Jr. out to the church, goes, get out, drops him off in the swamp and says, we'll get your father to come out here. When you see him drop off the money, walk out of the swamp and greet him like, Dad, it's me. Like, bet. So
It's me, Mario.
he makes him hang out in the swamp there for 26 hours. And remember, you saw the dad drive away. The dad was like, no, I'm not following these instructions anymore. That 5%, I don't believe. You don't really have my son, or you are my son. I don't care. I'm out of here.
Right.
So after he realizes his dad is not coming to save him, he has to walk out of the swamp. He walks out of the swamp all like mosquito bitten and sweaty and barely surviving all the venomous creatures that live in the swamp. And the first thing he sees is a cop who pulls him over and they go, hey, what are you doing out here? Because there's nobody out there. And he's like, oh yeah, I got grabbed by these Spanish-speaking gentlemen. And the cops are like, Now, they're native cops, so they don't go for the racist lies.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
we don't believe you, son. So they keep questioning him for 3 hours. He's like, yeah, there's these Spanish-speaking gentlemen who took me. And they're like, okay, well, what did they say? And he's like, I don't know, Spanish and stuff. I don't speak that. So they don't buy it. They keep after him. Eventually, he's like, okay, I did it myself. I kidnapped myself. He totally comes clean. He admits to the cops that he, his girlfriend, Joe Hickey, they all got together and they were trying to extort his dad. But it didn't happen, so it's fine, no crime. The cops are like, no, that's a crime.
Yeah.
So we're going to call the FBI because that's kidnapping. And even if you kidnapped yourself, that's still kidnapping.
Calling
He's
your
like,
dad's boss.
So they call his dad's boss, which is embarrassing, to say the least. Can you imagine if your mom worked for the FBI and she got that call? Like, hey, by the way, Elizabeth, right? So David Hampton Butler Jr., before we get back to David Hampton Butler Jr. having to come correct with his father once he figures this out, when you were a kid, did you ever have to wait for your parents and they didn't come?
Yes.
And you're sitting, you
My
did?
grandma.
Your grandma, how so?
Well, she was supposed to pick us up from school, and a lot of times she would get distracted doing stuff. And one time, sometimes it'd be like she was just in the supermarket she loved going to the supermarket and staying for 3 hours.
I like you say she loved going to
She did. She loved
poetry
that.
to it.
That was her jam. And then one time we were there, and I like to remember it where it was raining, but I don't know if it really was raining. But in my memory, it was
Make
raining.
it more dramatic. I like that.
My brother and I were sitting there all rain soaked, and she didn't show up. And in my, it was 8 o'clock. It was probably, she was probably an hour late, not 6 hours late. And it turned out that she got stuck in a parking lot of a store because there was a car accident blocking the exit. Mm-hmm. So she was just stuck there.
What can I do? And she didn't have a cell phone at the time.
So she probably just went back into the store. We
I love
keep
shopping. I'm going to go shop some more.
Exactly.
This gives me some more time.
So I do. I know that, and this is hitting a little close to home, Zaron.
Yeah, and also I think you may need to amplify that to by 1,000%. Because imagine if you kidnapped yourself and your dad's like, I don't know, keep him.
Yeah. Oh, that's worse than sitting in the rain.
So the Florida cops, as I told you, they call the FBI, and the FBI sends out Agent David Boner to work the case.
I'm sorry, who?
Agent David Boner, because they
How
thought,
many Davids
we
are
want
involved
to throw
in this?
another Dave at this. So
They're just going alphabetically.
they're like, send out
David.
Boner.
Well, Anderson's busy. Boner. Boner.
You're up. Dave Anderson? No. Dave Boner? Go on. So it doesn't take long for the agents to break the case. David Hampton Butler Jr. confesses to it all. He gives up everyone. And then they turn him loose on the justice system. And the prosecutors for the federal courts, they go after him. They confront him. He agrees to a plea deal. And then basically gives up everybody. His girlfriend does the same thing. So this 18-year-old jazzercise instructor, Carmen, she confesses to typing up the ransom letters, and her parents have to put up their house to bail her out.
Oh, speaking of the ransom letters, though, can I just tell you that I am positive that the FBI seizing the typewriters at the community college is like the most exciting thing that's ever happened there. And they still talk about it.
They came in. They had their jackets as the blues and twos coming in. So David Butler Jr., because he makes a plea deal, he quickly goes to arraignment. And now I want you to picture this just lightly. Okay. His arraignment hearing, he goes and the judge is there on the bench, and he tells the judge, yes, well, I have to understand, I'm a businessman and a very important guy, and I don't know this nonsense about fake kidnapping. It was more of a deal. The judge is like, excuse me, you're a businessman? How is this a business? He's like, well, I've recently invested $30,000 in a pasta and gelato factory.
Wait.
The judge is like, excuse me now? A what now?
He's like, I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Man. So the guys, the judge is like, I'm sorry, did you say you have an Italian ice cream factory? And he's like, that is your right, Your Honor. And the judge is like, well, where did you get this $30,000 you invested? And David Butler Jr., he quickly confers with his lawyer, and then he goes back to the judge. He says, well, I'd like to not answer that question at this moment, Your Honor.
Oh, my.
Now, I want you to picture
he used his ill-gotten gains for a gelato factory?
And he's wearing, by the way, for his arraignment hearing, he's wearing a T-shirt. The T-shirt says, trust me.
What in the what?
Yeah. Now his partner,
I wish he was wearing one of those tuxedo T-shirts.
That would be amazing. Now, his partner in crime, Joe Hickey, the son of a judge, he tries to fight the case, and he decides to go on trial. He's like, let's take it to trial. I know how to beat the system.
Oh, you're kidding.
But he doesn't count on boyfriend and girlfriend, David Hampton Butler Jr. and Carmen Carreno. They both agree to testify against Joe Hickey. And they say it was his idea. So
it's double-cross junction over here, where they're like, you're going to get 30 grand. You're not getting a big cut.
And keep in mind, they're all facing 25 years to life for this. This is like
sure
a
they're going to
serious crime.
testify.
So they, of course, they roll over like, yeah, it was his idea. He worded the ransom letters. Carmen's like, I just typed. I don't even know. This is, the David Hampton Butler's like, yeah, he picked the exchange site. He dropped me off. I mean, it was all him. And everyone's like, oh. And now Joe Hickey's like, you mother. But he sits there, grins and bears it. And after everything, he's tried and he's convicted. So both Butler Jr. and Hickey, though, get lucky, and they are only sentenced to 1 year in federal prison.
Huh.
Now, if you can believe it, this is not the end of this story. Because we're back after these ads,
Does it
Elizabeth,
involve gelato?
I'd like to tell you the other side of the story, the David Hampton Butler Sr. side of the story.
Oh.
Elizabeth, last we left, Agent David Boner was trying to get to the bottom of the case. We then went to trial. Joe Hickey made the regrettable decision to take it to trial. Then David Hampton Butler Jr. and Carmen Carreno flipped on him, and everybody ended up going to jail.
What fourth grader wrote this screenplay?
It's amazing,
Boner
right?
and Hickey, and then the hubba Carmen teaching aerobics.
It was a 12-year-old's fever dream. It's like, I'm going to kidnap myself, and I'm going to get $2 million from my dad, and my jazzercise girlfriend and I are going to...
We're going to go take that money to Sonic.
And my friend, Joe Hickey... So David Hampton Butler Jr., when he decided to kidnap himself, this was August 1983. Mm-hmm. Now, meanwhile, his dad, David Hampton Butler Sr., he had his own legal troubles because on March 2nd, 1983, his father got busted moving pounds of cocaine.
Wait, so earlier that year?
That same year, months earlier. It was coke that his bosses at the FBI knew nothing about. Oops. And his dad was facing a coke bust when his son decided to fake his own kidnapping. So he had real legal problems.
So he's moonlighting.
And this is why you get that he believed the kidnapping is that he was facing a coke bust and he's an informant. So he's figuring that the cartel has figured this out and they're just trying to get back at him. Thus, it took him a while to go, you know what, this is hanky. Now, the deal was from 1982 to 1984, David Hampton Butler Sr. worked for the FBI as an undercover informant, right? Now, he did all sorts of drug deals. They had him traveling internationally. And the FBI is only supposed to be domestic. The CIA is the one that does international, right? But the FBI is like, go down to Colombia, go down, do whatever you need.
Move them goofballs.
Yeah, you going to Jamaica? We'll get you the tickets. Get your hair braided. Have fun. Right?
We'll put you up at Sandals.
Yeah, you'll love it. Elizabeth recommends it to everyone. So talking the Bahamas, South America, everywhere he's going, right? But he's also working domestically. They have him flying out to Arkansas for drug deals, and to California for to fabulous Arkansas. And so the FBI's got him, turning out drugs everywhere, right? He's got this Miami supervisor who's super pleased with him because according to his supervisor, who testifies to this, David Butler Sr., quote, helped the FBI recover more than $80 million worth of drugs, boats, vehicles, and planes. $80 million in 1983. So that's some serious coin, right?
Yeah.
Now, his supervisor would also testify that, quote, David Butler was no doubt the top informant the FBI had operating in South Florida during the early part of 1983.
That's a big statement.
Exactly. This is cocaine cowboy era.
So what's a little light drug smuggling on the side?
Exactly. What's 22 pounds of cocaine here or there between friends? Now, just to kind of put some of these numbers in perspective of what he was moving, I want to tell you about there was a 1,000-pound pot bust that he was in charge of that coincidentally was a load seized in Arkansas. He was moving pounds, right?
Wow.
So they seized this load and then he flew it in on a small private plane. The FBI seizes it. They then make him the hero of the moment. He's done this huge 1,000-pound pot bust, right? So this is amazing. FBI agent Russell Duggar, he says in his court testimony, quote, Butler set the load up, he renegotiated with the smugglers involved, and actually flew the load in for the government, right? So he's like a drug smuggler for the U.S. government. Now, Elizabeth, I'd like you to close your eyes for a rare second. Picture it.
My eyes are closed.
Okay, you're in Arkansas.
Well,
sorry about that.
Don't apologize.
No, I love Arkansas, actually. So you're in the middle of nowhere.
Remember, we love everywhere.
Yeah, well, no, we've been in Arkansas. Remember together? We were in that town where they put us off the 40.
Palestine, Arkansas.
Yeah,
we were driving and cross country. There was an accident. Google Maps rerouted us.
Yeah. And we got to hang out in that very interesting town of Palestine.
And and it was like all the people in town
brought out lounge chairs.
Yeah, to watch the traffic.
To watch the traffic go through town.
And then there was that
kid with the bullwhip.
The red-headed boy with a bullwhip.
Yeah.
Just showing off for everybody.
He's whipping the tree. He wanted people I got a crowd. Hey, Mom, I got a crowd
It
going.
was so Harmony Korine.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Do you remember I took a picture of him and he turned and stared right at us? And there's no way he could have heard the click because the windows were up. And I was like, that kid's got it.
Yeah, I was
worried
terrifying.
about him. So that place, Arkansas. So middle of the night, you're standing what looks to be an enormous grass field. A landing strip has been mowed down. This makeshift airstrip is filled with road flares, because I know you love road flares.
Oh, God, do I.
Now, this small plane approaches the landing strip, descending from the night sky. The pilot is a young man, a friend of David Hampton Butler Sr., a total pro pilot who puts the plane down on the grassfield airstrip like he's a combat air veteran, or better yet, a drug smuggling pilot. And this pilot, who David Hampton Butler Sr. has worked with numerous times, is now officially a drug smuggler thanks to him, because he's doing his first big load for the government. So they now know who he is. He'll show up later on in the stories, but for now, he's this pilot. And David Hampton Butler Sr., he's waiting at a truck, and with him are two undercover FBI agents. But you can't tell that from where you are standing in the field. They just look like two guys. Now, the truck meets the small plane. It pulls onto the landing strip, and you watch as they offload bales of pot onto this truck. And they load it, and it takes them a little while, because it's like probably about 1,000 pounds of pot, right? You walk out in the field and you ask them, hey, you mind if I catch a ride? And everyone's like,
why not?
What are you doing in this field? The agents are totally thrown, but David Hampton Butler Sr., he recognizes you, and he's like, yeah, cool, whatever, man, come on.
Because I got a bullwhip.
Yeah, and also he had so much fun with you last time, and you were really chill when he had the whole thing with his son. So David Hampton Butler Sr. tells you, yeah, hop in back with the pot. And you're like, cool, bet. So you hop in the back with the pot.
Not the first time I've been told that.
And you, the pot bales, David Hampton Butler Sr., and the two undercover FBI agents, you all drive across multiple states until you reach a toll and fuel plaza located on the Florida Turnpike.
Am I in the back of the truck
The whole time.
Is this a pickup truck?
It's a pickup truck. It's dusty.
Do I have at least like a bandana?
You got like one of them Mexican blankets that's on the side of the road.
Okay.
It's keeping you warm. You're like doing like the real American like drug run. Now,
that's so good.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a cross-country drug run. You're doing great, by the way.
Thank you so much.
So you're back in Florida, and you thank them for the ride. You kept the pot bales from blowing out. Not that they would.
Yeah, did I have to like lay flat on top of them and they go over a bump and we all fly up and then land?
You have to grab the blue tarp again, pull it back down. So you tell them, look, I'll find a new ride from here. I'm good. I'm almost home. They're like, all right, cool. David Hampton Butler Sr. is like points at you.
I'm stuck because I'm still imagining like green bales of hay. Or they're in like that like coffee sack, but it's stamped pot.
It says 100% pot.
Pre-doobie.
Colombian pot. So as you're standing there and you're getting ready to say goodbye to your man, David Hampton Butler Sr., and you're like, hey, it's been such time. I can't believe we're back in Florida together. This is so wild. He's like, yeah, maybe next time.
And I'm all, call me.
These two people walk up. You can tell from their accents they're not necessarily English speakers. Turns out that they're a Cuban and a Colombian, which you very quickly parse from the accents. And they're like, yeah, hey, and they know David Hampton Butler Sr. You're like, oh, I will leave you to do what you guys got to do.
Noping out of there with a quickness.
Before any like bags of cash get
There's
brought
just
out.
like a swirl of dust where I was standing.
So, and now as you are, walking across the toll and fuel plaza, you watch the Cuban and Colombian. They briefly talk with the undercover FBI agents. They get out of the truck. The Colombian and the Cuban get in the truck and they drive away. You're like, that's kind of odd. Mm-hmm. But what you don't know is that the FBI has rigged the truck.
Oh.
They put in a kill switch so that the truck's engine will suddenly cut out whenever they hit a button. So the agents go get in their car, they follow from a discrete distance, miles down the road, not in a place that you can see. They hit the kill switch. The truck dies, engine fades away, the car pulls off on the side of the road, on the side of the highway, no less. Florida Highway Patrol pulls up because they've been told this is going to happen. They swoop in, but they act like, oh, sir, are you having trouble with your vehicle? What is this in the back? Is this hay? And they're like, no say. So turns out not hay. The Florida Highway Patrol, they quickly figured this out. They arrest the guys, and all of this is done. This whole theater of arrest, the multiple state lines being crossed, all that was to throw off the scent of the FBI snitch, David Hampton Butler Sr., because he's so good. They don't want to lose their number one informant.
Yeah.
This is just one example from the many tales of David Hampton Butler Sr. and his work for the FBI. I just wanted you to keep that in mind because he was doing this, and each time he did these things, he was putting his life at risk.
Yeah.
But what he didn't know is he's also, if he was honest with himself, he's putting his family's life at risk.
That's also true, and that's something that they don't seem to think about.
Well, that's why he was so worried about his son being kidnapped, but he didn't really think about it until his son was gone. Once he got ganked, then all of a sudden everything became real for him, right?
Then it's like, he's not moving hay, he's moving hay. And is it worth it? He has to ask himself.
Oh, and also, I haven't told you this, but David Hampton Butler Sr., he wasn't just moving drugs. He wasn't just a drug trafficker. He was also working in organized crime, and he was working in international terrorism. So the FBI had him working in all of these fields, all places where people will kill you for what you know.
Yeah.
So he's in South America, he's in Colombia, and he works out that there is this intersection between drug trafficking and international terrorist funding. And so this is the early 80s.
Surprise!
So he basically stumbles upon Iran-Contra on his own. And he's like, the FBI is like, yes, he gave us, quote, significant information in this regard. So,
oh, wow.
Now think about how many people may want this guy to be killed, right?
Yeah.
So this is all the stuff that the Bureau is not helping him with, but you can see why they may be a little guilty about, oh, your son got grabbed? We'll see if we can help get him back, right? So the other thing the FBI doesn't know is that David Hampton Butler Sr. has a whole other identity. Like a whole person.
Like a Chris Gaines type thing?
Yeah, his name is John Craig Beasy of Chicago, Illinois.
Beasy?
Beasy, hey Beasy.
What?
Yeah, so John Craig Beasy, he has a driver's license, a social security card, he has a birth certificate, he has the complete alias, right?
Does he have another family?
No.
Okay.
But he uses this for when he travels internationally. So on March 2nd, 1983, he decides, I'm going to try this domestically. So he goes out and he is John Craig Beasy of Chicago, Illinois for a 22-pound cocaine deal.
JC Beasy.
It doesn't go well for JC Beasy. The $6 million deal goes south, and that's about, I think, $18 million today. So it's some big money.
Yeah.
The question is, was David Hampton Butler Sr. working with the FBI at the time of the 22-pound cocaine deal or not? Was this a freelance gig? Was this professional? Where did this fall in, right?
Yeah.
So the night he gets busted, he's in Greenville, South Carolina. And these city cops happen to arrest the people he gave the drugs to. They catch them. These guys are like, oh, no, we got this from these guys at Howard Johnson. They tell them the room number.
What?
So the cops drive out to Howard Johnson's and they find, like, knock on the door. David's like, oh, is it my macaroni and cheese? He opens it up and it is not room service. It is the local cops. And then they arrest him for being a cocaine smuggler.
Oh.
So what does he do? He tells the cops, hey, man, it's cool. I'm with the FBI.
Well, sure.
So they're like, oh, really? Do you have any identification? He's like, yeah, here you go. John Craig Beasy. They're like, okay, John Craig Beasy. So they call up the FBI in Miami, Florida. They're like, hey, we got this guy here, John Craig Beasy. They're like, who?
Right.
He's like, David Hampton Butler Sr. They're like, oh, yeah, we know him. They're like, oh, okay. Well, we just busted him on a 22-pound cocaine deal here in South Carolina. And the FBI in Miami's like, he did what now? with the cocaine, you say? And they're like, yeah. His supervisor gets on the phone. He's like, what was he doing in South Carolina with the cocaine deal? Miami FBI, they have no answers for why he's there. Supervisor's like, I didn't tell him to. I don't have anything on my schedule. Yeah, this is news to me, right? So David Hampton Butler Sr., he gets charged for the cocaine distribution, possession. He's now looking at a new 25 years behind bars. So lucky for him, in July, his trial gets postponed because the FBI needs to figure out, is this legit? Is this not legit? So they're going to try to figure out, did anybody give this guy the cover on this? Now, the next month, David Hampton Butler Jr. decides to kidnap himself.
Oh,
so right in the middle
of all
this.
This is the last thing we need, Dave Jr.
Darn it, Dave. So after his son's fake kidnapping gets sorted out and his son gets arrested, David Hampton Butler Sr. goes back on trial for his cocaine bust. So now the trial gets kicked back up, and we kick over to the spring of 1984, and he goes back to Greenville, South Carolina. He's in a courtroom, and during his trial, David Hampton Butler Sr. attempts to portray himself as this undercover FBI informant. He goes over all the busts he's done, the traveling internationally. He has different agents coming through. His supervisor gives testimony. Yeah, this guy's amazing. And the prosecution, meanwhile, focuses on the fact that the Miami FBI never asked him to fly to South Carolina, did not know he was there, and this is apparently a freelance night move, regardless of what he had done, this one in particular. Yeah. And so the jury's like following along with this. And then there is the damning witness who testifies that David Hampton Butler Sr. hadn't just been the pilot looking to make a few $100 on this deal. He'd been there when the Colombians met with their contacts in Florida to arrange the whole deal. So he's like, oh, yeah, there's that, right? Yeah. So the pilot who he had hired to fly into Arkansas, this pilot was involved in this one. He eventually flips on him. He's like, yeah, he brought me in on this. It's not legit. So he goes down, right? Between all of this and the handlers at Miami FBI, he has nobody to cover his back. So what does David Hampton Butler Sr. do once he is found guilty?
I don't know.
Well, he's sentenced to 25 years for cocaine possession. He's looking at 15 years for conspiracy charges. And what did his son say?
Does he flip on somebody? I don't know.
Well, his son warned him when he kidnapped himself, none of your old tricks.
Yeah.
So David Hampton Butler Sr. immediately goes to his book of tricks and starts looking for a way out. So on April 2nd, 1985 now, the U.S. Court of Appeals affirms his conviction after he appeals it. So he tries his first trick. I'll appeal it. That doesn't work. April 2nd. They're like, yeah, man, you're going to prison. He's like, damn it. Now, at this point, he's out on bail. The bail amount is he's out on $750,000 bond. So that's normally enough to keep a person homebound. Not David Hampton Butler Sr.
He's got $2 million floating around
and
in
he can fly planes. He likes to get international with it. So when the U.S. Marshals show up at the Butler home, there is no David Hampton Butler Sr. there. Now, Jr. is like going, hey, I'm about to go to prison myself. So are you guys looking for me? They're like, no, not you.
Can you give me a ride?
Is your dad?
Carpool?
Yeah. So David Hampton Butler Sr. is gone. He has kidnapped himself. Now, but he left no ransom notes. Just gone, right? So the 7 years on the bench that the judge, William Cato Jr., another junior, had been on, he had never once seen a single person do anything like this. So he's stunned. And he basically tells the bail bondsman, I don't care. This is on you, man.
So he just skips.
You're out $750,000 unless you can find this guy. You got until, he basically goes, until I reconvene court. So like Thursday, right? And the guy's like, what are you talking about? So federal court gets reconvened. No David Butler Sr. The bail bondsman shows up and he's like, I got some bad news for you, Judge. And Judge is like, are you for real right now? He really didn't show up? He's like, well, he called me. He's like, what do you mean he called me? He called me last night and he said, hey, man, I'm sorry about what's going down. And he promised me, look, I'm out of the country right now, but I will come back as soon as I can.
Just got to make a little money.
The judge is like, are you telling me the truth? This is really what he did? He's like, I swear to God, he called me last night. He's like, okay, man, you're out your money. So I don't have to tell you. Sends out the U.S. Marshals. They scour the nation. They call up the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They check the Great White North. Everybody's looking. The U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, anybody who could possibly be looking under U.S. law or an alliance agreement is looking for this dude. Nothing. 900 hours of U.S. Marshal deputies' time is spent. Absolutely nothing. The bail bondsman has to show back up, and he's like, Your Honor, this is really hurting me. He's like, look, man, I don't know what to tell you. So the bail bondsman, he's like, puts out a reward of his own, $50,000 for any information leading to his arrest. Nothing. This dude has kidnapped himself in a way that his son should have paid attention.
Yeah.
Now, turns out in January 1986, though, he makes one little mistake. He gets arrested in Vancouver by some Canadian cops on some nonsense. The local cops are about to release him when they run his identity, and it turns out he is not going by Craig Beasy at the time. So the U.S. Assistant Attorney, who happens to be scanning the reports for the North American justice system, sees this name go by. He then spends 16 hours on the phone over his weekend trying to get the Canadian cops not to release this guy before he can get U.S. Marshals there. The Canadian cops are like, oh, man, really? Okay, at lunch, we're going to release him. They're like, no, just a little longer. Okay, at dinner, because then we got a new shift, and I don't want to have to tell Bob about this. And they're like, could you just hold him till the U.S. Marshals get there? Okay, man, but if tea time, he's not...
What name was he using there? Burgeezers or whatever?
Oh, no, he wasn't using Beasy. He's going by David Hampton Butler Sr. at that time. So that's why he gets popped, right? His name comes through, and then I go by the fax machines or whatever.
Yeah.
So David Hampton Butler Jr.'s tricks finally fail him, and he is caught and returned to justice, handed over to the U.S. Marshals, and boom, he's going to have to now spend 25 years in prison. His son must have finally been pleased to see his dad face justice, right? Now, during his ne'er-do-well friend Joe Hickey's doomed trial, his son actually did speak to his relationship with his father, and David Hampton Butler Jr. spoke very candidly, and I quote, he said, he has never really been the kind of father I wanted. I had suspicions about his business, but he would never really tell me about it. I couldn't understand why he was doing what he was doing, endangering his family. So this poor confused kid, right? So that's why he decided, you know what? I'm going to extort him for $2 million because he doesn't pay enough attention. So anyway, to teach his dad a lesson, he does this, and they both learn lessons. And after 1 year, he's free. And after 25 years, his dad looks to be free. Now, this whole story, as you pointed out, is basically like a Disney Channel movie written by Harmony Korine and directed by, I don't know, the Safdie brothers. It's pretty much an insane family tale that would only happen in Florida. It's Uncut Gems meets Spring Breakers. So, Elizabeth, what's our ridiculous takeaway here?
Oh, heavens. I'm taking away a lot today. Taking away...
Your bags are loaded. I see that. I thought you were just packed and ready to go.
Yeah, and you'd think
Are you kidnapping yourself? What are you doing over there?
I am. I have a bale of green hay.
What's with the scissors and all the magazine letters?
I've got a little typewriter. Tap, tap, tap. My takeaway is that, go get family counseling. Don't do the self-abductions.
Right?
That was just doomed from the get-go. Because honestly, he gets $2 million from his dad. Let's say it all went off. Then what? He goes back and he's still dating the gal, the
jazzercise teacher?
And what, he just has $2 million hanging around now?
Well, I imagine they were going to probably go somewhere else, open a nice gelato business in the Bahamas or whatever. They had plans, dreams, really. Maybe a jazzercise studio and gelato factory.
I don't think they thought everything
combine
through.
them, put their dreams together. For me, Elizabeth, and thank you for asking.
I don't want to know.
I think the ridiculous takeaway is that I'm a Zaron Walter Burnett III. I understand what it's like to be named after your father, and it can be weird trying to create your own identity. Yeah. But I think the point is to focus on not that and actually focus on the other part, which is you never fully know anyone.
That's very true.
Like, not even your own father or mother. People, your sister, your brother, people who you think you know really well. Everyone has secrets, and they have sides of themselves. They don't show anyone, and sometimes their secret is that they're an undercover FBI informant. You don't know what the secret is. It could be huge. But my point is leave some room for the unexpected. Just like, there's always something you don't know, and be cool with that.
Exactly. The not knowing is pretty cool.
Yeah, we love that.
I do.
Who knows? Whatever.
I know nothing, so it's awesome.
Well, thank you for joining us. I am Elizabeth Dutton, and over there, that's Zaron Burnett.
The third.
You can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter and Instagram. You got a tip for us about a ridiculous crime you'd like to hear about? Hit us up. You want to confess to a ridiculous crime? We do not recommend it, but please do hit us up.
I recommend
Elizabeth loves them. Email us at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by Cocaine Cowboy's preferred travel agent, Dave Kustin. Research is by fake kidnapping expert and pretend bank robbery enthusiast, Marissa Brown. The theme song is by Thomas, Jane Fonda's biggest fan, Lee, and Travis, I'm more of a jazzercise aficionado, Dutton. Executive producers are Ben, Officer, that is not my cocaine, Bolin, and Noel, yes, that is also not my cocaine, Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.